Cash money, money. Cash money.
Wherever you are listening, I ask you to participate in this particular program because I have Henry Tokubak. You may remember him. He was a former member of the Eastern Britain provincial government. It's Talk Back on FM 100. Henry Tokubak talking about the traditional currencies here in Papua New Guinea. So if you have any comments to make, give us a call now.
Okay, Henry, the way I see it is that global economy is the only way to go forward. Business community wants that anyway. Why go back? How are we going to go forward with the traditional money?
Global economic is just too big and too huge for a simple man to survive with.
Right.
We just have to create an exchange mechanism that will make pictas and paper money be able to live together. Don't forget our traditional currency. We maintain it as long as we create an institution that will regulate it and make sure there is enough for everybody later on.
Money, cash money. You are welcome to pay in dollar now pound. Credit card of course. Here's my pocket, come and take some money. No cash money, me say no biz.
Cash money.
Day in, day out, we are surviving with our traditional economy, and that's based on our traditional currencies, shell money. We, the small people, don't benefit from the global economy. Modern money is like chasing the wind. You know, just you have $5 in your hand today, and then a few minutes later, and then it's gone, and so you got to go and look for another $5.
The true bully beef of PNG. It's made right here for you and me.
We can buy anything with shell money. We can buy goods from the trade store, flour, oil, soap, tobacco. We can even buy land and materials for our houses. We don't need a lot of modern money, kina, to have a good quality of life.
What I've done, I've got a group of women together to string some shell money together because we're preparing for bride price. One of my nephew is getting married, so we're getting everybody together to work on this. I think the shell money will survive. It won't die off. Because it's not, the thing with modern money, you give it away and it goes for good. With the shell money, you give it to me and I give it back to you. So it's just to and fro most of the time. It's not running away from us. So that's how I see it.
My dream is to create the first traditional bank in Papua New Guinea. This traditional bank will formalize the use of our shell money. This has been our currency for thousands of years. Shell money is used for many customs. When someone dies, their wealth is distributed not only to the family, but to the whole community. The whipping of the Duk-Duk spirit is the family's contribution in shell money. My traditional bank would really help the people. they could exchange shell money for cash to pay for things like school fees and taxes. The modern banks makes it almost impossible for people to borrow money, but my bank would provide small loans in shell money. I want the government to legislate, allowing us to set up a traditional bank. What I'm saying is we are banking tambo, shell money, instead of money. And that's basically what it is. And we're trying to create an entry just the same as a normal kina toya thing. And I've actually gone down to decimal places. I've subdivided the FETM into units. And so it's easy to be put into computer. And I believe it's already there. It's just that people are saying, no, it will not work. Somebody must tell me really why it cannot work.
And he's kind of man who probably doesn't have the business kind of idea, though he's pushing it as a business idea, but supposing probably have some partnership with somebody who's really have some good knowledge in business, he might succeed. I've known Henry Kubak for nearly 5 years now. He was a very popular character and a very popular politician. And I have to say a character because he goes out in the street, he meets somebody, they always call him Toku Bank concerning his bank. He has a lot of ideas. He's probably a think tank for a lot of people.
I've got a lot against me. Our traditional economy is not recognized by the modern banking system or the modern law. It's not even accepted by the church. The Sunday school has been teaching the children that the use of shell money and the traditional customs are bad. The song that we just heard in the Sunday school was basically about the principle of following the righteous way. And whatever you do outside of that, it's wrong. But there is nothing in the Bible that says that the use of shell money is evil. I can't understand why the church is against it. When the volcano erupted, there was a lot of ash thrown up in the air, and all that fell on top of all the houses. We've never seen something like it. There was metal scrabble everywhere. This is a wreckage of my traditional bank where I lost my shell money during the eruption in 1994. This was actually housing the office and all the shell money that took me 3 years to establish. It was running and the volcano devastated it. The looters got in through the excess of the break of the roof and took everything. And to me that was very sad to lose all these things.
A lot of people who say that Andrew is a dreamer is kind of people like us who are working. And really we see him as a dreamer, but most of the people, the community people, they see him as a man who's trying to help them.
the main struggle that I am trying to get through is to have the word bank placed into the dream. I actually have gone to the extent of trying to find out if I can register a bank. The word bank, well, I thought it was something that we can always just use, but I think, as you were saying, it's quite restricted.
Yes.
And to me, it's not very...
The word bank is a restricted name that we do not readily approve, because when you use the word bank, people will take that to mean that you are operating a bank where people deposit money and take out money and make money. I do not know if the central bank, if they regulate you, would require you to keep a certain amount of sell money in your vaults every day. If you use pigs as a currency or a means of buying things, and if you are regulated by a central bank when you are trading pigs as a currency, I do not know how much pig you would have to keep in a vault every day.
Well, yesterday I came here and I wanted to register the bank as it is, according to my dream. I just disappointed that I just cannot register it because of legal requirement. And basically I'm here today to see William about registering it under my name as Tokyo Bank with an N insured in my name. And that's basically why I'm here today. What's chances of using the word that we originally were using, that's Tokyo Bank?
But as I said, the word bank is the word bank. Now, had we not known about your activities, and if it's part of our name, we would have registered it, but we are aware of it. It's not necessarily a problem with us. As I'm saying, all I needed was just clearance from the central bank.
I was only talking about creating a shell money bank, which is what my people use. And I was challenging the laws and why is it there is a blood bank, and I mean there is other things that is using the word bank, the merchant bank, and what is it in so hard about calling a bank that is traditionally oriented a shell money bank?
Dire Straits with Money for Nothing. A nice way to introduce this segment of the show. You may recall Henry was here with me in the studio when he spoke about this. But this morning, not only are we asking for your comments in support, but also any misgivings that you might have. But especially the Toloa community, to the economists, to anyone at all who deals with money. If you have any comments to make, please feel free to call us this morning.
I think that the banks would not like this very much, because at the moment, if you have no money, you go to the bank and you borrow money and then they charge you interest. Surely the banks would have some sort of opposition to this scheme.
There is that side of the act or the side of the law that says you cannot just go creating banks around the place. Mm-hmm. But the question now is that if we can create a blood bank, which is really you store blood, yes. What is the difference of me creating a bank for Buggy, for the Trobriand Island people, and yes. Shell money for that matter? Yes. So you see, that's basically what I tend to see.
Already there's been some sort of nervousness expressed by a couple of the callers this morning, and it's good that they do that, because it is an opportunity for them to understand fully what the concept is. Yeah. And I think it is a noble concept, really it is. Now, if the West measures developing countries like PNG purely in economic terms, we fail. For example, our weekly average wage is around 50 kina a week. This makes it look like we are living in poverty. But this is not the case. We have an effective system of self-sufficiency. Can you tell me about this?
Well, that puts it clear. I mean, every now and then we're being measured by the global economy, and I don't need that. I mean, I don't need to be measured by the global economy, because I got my own land, and I built my house on my own land, and I got my garden. You know, I can go to the garden and get my food stuff, and I don't see why I should need money.
Picture Memories FM 100. This is Talkback.
Hey man, what happened to your house? Don't tell me.
We don't need much money to survive and have a good life. The only cash I need is for my son's bus fare to go to school every morning.
Steamships Hardware live down in the Daddy Cave? No. Steamships Hardware has this home improvement campaign which I think you need to check out.
This is my home. As you can see how simple we try to be. We are just trying to repair it to see if we can still continue to use it for as long as we can. Well, I have a family of 6 kids and a wife and myself. The most important part of my own family is my wife, Angela. She's the one that actually inspired me to come up with the idea of the shell money system of banking. I just have to say that I have to thank God that I got married to her, and that was the start of the dream. An opportunity came up to present my proposal to Ezekiel. He is a fellow Tolai who works for the World Bank in Washington. Will this type of project have an opportunity of being presented much higher, as, for an example, to the World Bank or other organizations or people who would support this sort of idea?
Okay, Henry, I that's a very, very difficult question that you have posed. Maybe it can be presented as a proposal, and experts from institutions such as the World Bank or the IMF will probably be involved because they are more involved with exchange rates and so forth, and currencies, that they may be interested to look at it.
It's an awful long way from a community in Rabaul to Washington DC and where the World Bank are, and I think that there's a lot of room for misunderstanding of where people are. You know, I've heard comments such as, well, the subsistence economy is dead now. That patently is not true. So I think you're getting blind spots. You're getting a kind of an understanding of where people are, or where they're perceived to be. Now, whether that's what's really happening at the community level or not is open to question. So to get that feedback, to get those connections between the World Bank and a community in East New Britain province of Papua New Guinea is very, very difficult. That's why the Tambu system of economy is so effective here, because people do understand it, they do maintain it, they do control it, they do use it.
I've come to the Trobriand Islands to meet Sarah and her husband Rod. Here the women have their own unique currency, which Sarah has been actively encouraging. Sarah, just while I travel all the way here to understand your currency, I got a dream, a vision that I always thought about in East New Britain, and I'd like to take along with me as much and as far as I can go to see if I can get opinion from people. And what I'm dreaming really is the creation of a traditional bank.
Yes, and how do you plan to do it? How do you plan to go about?
Well, I seems to be not getting to the right ears and the right people at the moment, but surely with the same principle and the same currencies that we entertain like shell money. I believe in creating a bank that will store, reserve and exchange our different currencies.
If we all remain, one individual in our society and we don't get together and do something like you're planning to do or you're dreaming of doing, the modern money will eventually move in and a lot of people will probably lose interest in this sort of stuff. So the knowledge will be lost, and when knowledge is lost, the tradition is lost.
The Trobriand life is governed by their traditional economy. These giant yams are on their way to the chief, who is Sarah's brother.
In Trobriand Islands, we have quite a number of items of value. One of them is doba, which is made out of dried banana leaves, and that's a very, very big wealth with the women in the society. And this banana leaf can buy anything, and it's like our currency here. Dober is made out of banana leaves. They go and get them from the garden, bring them back, scrape them against a wooden board, and then they dry them out in the sun. Dober is the most valuable thing a woman can have on the island, and it brings status to the ladies. Because of Dober, men depend on the ladies. People in the village can be very, very happy without modern money. They don't really need it. In Port Moresby, the capital city of country, they have to work very hard to get enough money to be able to pay for their house, pay the rent, pay electricity, pay for water, pay for food, pay for just about every little thing they need to survive, they have to pay for. Whereas in the village, it's free. The food is free. You just go and get it from your garden, come and feed your family. The water is free. The house is free. You just go and get the bush material from the bush and come and build it. Everything is free. I run a trade store, having been able to get myself a nice house and a vehicle. With all that modern wealth I have, I try to do it with respect to the village traditions. I can have lots of money, but if I'm just gonna keep the money to myself, buy lots of houses or cars and whatever you want to buy with modern money, then I'll come back home and now people would just look at me and say, no, we don't know who she is. There's no sign of her in the village. Even though I don't make doba myself, I try to get doba and I sell my store goods for the traditional money. If, say, example, I don't have doba, I'll be nothing. I'll be nothing with my sisters and brothers and uncles and everybody else in the clan. Everywhere you go in the country, you find the villagers have their own traditions, and it doesn't matter what piece of item they use. It's the value to them that matters, I guess.
Really, we got two currencies. I believe in this physical pictas which is in front of me here in your possession. Why is it not pictas and paper money? Because this is really just paper with the pictas drawn on it. And here is the real pictas, and why can't we just hold them together and make it, that's how we live?
Work together, yeah.
I think that's what I try to do. Yeah. This is my currency from East New Britain, but it's here and it's written on paper. That's A roll of shell money I call a wheel. It's not just a picture there, it's actually resembling my traditional currency.
It's amazing because I've seen this note so many times before, and I just didn't know
never
what.
recognize
no,
it?
I know that's one of the decorations there, but I didn't know what it means. Now I know it means a lot to you.
Even the 20 kina notes has got the pig. I mean, the fish is on and the pig has just been killed, and that's not a live pig, it's just a drawing. And the arm shells and the cowrie shells, I mean, here is the real thing, and here is on paper. And I don't believe this is the true currency. This is the true currency. You see what I'm trying to get at?
I mean, to a village person, why don't we set up a bank like you're dreaming of doing, so that this paper money can go along with the real things in the village? So
would you not agree now, Sarah, that we finally agree, you from the Tribarian and me from his New Britain, that we'll accept the paper money for as it is, because we need it to sometimes, and we put it together inside our basket.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And we'll create a bank for it that way?
If there was a bank who can sell me doba instead of me going from one village to another, and I know I can get ladies' traditional money from that particular place, I'll go straight to the bank and give so much more than money to get my baskets instead of going from one place to another. Yes, I think it will work, and it can help for somebody like me, save me time from going to village to village. Well, have a safe journey, and we hope your dream comes true too.
Traditionally, our currency is our legal tender, and we need the modern law to reflect it. And that's what legislation is all about. My dream to create a bank for the small people in the community is now becoming a reality. What we are working on now is working through the local governments to get it passed.
Be seated. And I welcome you all to this meeting. So now I put it on the floor now for debating on the value of shell money. Anybody has a point to raise?
Today, we know that the financial crisis in the world today and in our country, people goes back to shell money. But the problem is our money is still informal. But I will now move the motion that one, we will have to have a better value for our shell money. Two, we have to have a shell money bank in the Gazelle Peninsula to help our people. Thank you.
Otherwise, resourceful person, can I call upon you to deliberate a little bit more on the issue of having the shell money against the Kina now, or what is the important roles now? Where do we stand now?
Chairman, councillors, honourable councillors, the situation is clear. The modern law says shell money is informal currency, but to us, it's not informal. This is our currency. So now we're going to make some move in some level of government, like local level government, provincial government, to tell the Papua New Guinea government and the world that we own Tambu, and we will legislate. We will make a law to, one, uphold our traditional currency, or Tabu. Second, we have a place where everybody can go and get shell money from at a price that everybody can afford. And that's the idea of this dream.
So by laws, all councillors has been given every right to make laws on the value and the use and the weight of the shell money from under the bottom-up approach from its ward to the local level government and up to the provincial government level, and then it goes down to national level.
I think the councillors here will agree with me to have the bank, and if we can have the bank pass on this this meeting, I would be very much appreciated. Thank you.
Somebody has to second the motion on an establishment of a central bank that will house our shell money. Who is second to the motion? Kunai, thank you. Those in favor of the motion shall rise, remain standing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Thank you. Be seated. Those not in favor, please rise. So, the full house has been agreed unanimously that we will now establish a central bank for our shell money. Thank you. I therefore declare this meeting is closed.
I was given the responsibility to draw up a policy for the shell money.
The bank that this paper will bring about is Tolai People's Bank, and Henry is part and parcel of it. And Henry has got some interest in Tabu, and that's why he's pushing it. Of Tabu currency in the local level, in the provincial government, and then he might have a bank himself.
It seems to be going through this process of legislation. It's got to go through a number of stages through both the bureaucratic and the political process. Starting to work on this project, that the whole thing comes into focus. You know, what is economy? What is it for? And really, it's to improve people or maintain people's quality of life. And here, what you've got is a traditional system of economy that does do that, and you've got a new system of economy, 50 years or so, that drops in and out, as far as I can see. That to be able to marry the two is an opportunity that is here now.
I was a president in my community government, 2 terms, during which the people in that time were finding it hard to pay their tax in cash, but had a lot of shell money. I saw the need around. In that time, I made a decision to transfer some 10,000 kina to our bank account to exchange shell money for cash to the people to settle their tax and other needs. Straight after that, 1994, comes the devastation of my office and the bank itself.
When I was still working for the Division of Parliamentary Services, I had a little bit about it, that he took out some money from trust account belonging to the community government. People come with Tabu and deposit the Tabu with his bank, and then they take the money out.
This case should go easy on me, but if worse come to worse, I take the challenge, if it is imprisonment, for the sake of helping finding a solution to establishing a traditional bank for the small people in the community.
Maybe eventually might be found out to be guilty. and maybe charged. Probably might end up in jail, but knowing Henry, I mean, as I've said, he's the best friend of mine. Knowing him, he's a real talker. He might talk himself out again.
Henry, while in government, you exchange public funds for shell money. You are being charged with misappropriation, yet at the same time, you're trying to get legislation passed through the East New Britain government to set up a traditional bank. Are you in a catch-22 situation?
Well, you are right. You know, I'm really in a catch-22 because my action is being challenged. But my dream is getting some recognition by the government authorities. My court case is pending, and I hope that justice prevails. The case is going to be on next week, and well, I have personally nominated you to be my lawyer. And what do you see about my case?
So I said it should not be a long case because you will admit that you got the money. So it will be only a question of whether it was approved that you should use it for this purpose. Yeah.
But the intention originally, without no proper support, was to create a shell money bank for the small people in the community, so they should have access to some form of borrowings without going through the formalities of normal banking systems. And
the case itself is purely based on whether you misappropriated money. That means you misused money. You did not spend the money according to the allocation or according to approve, whatever was approved by your government. That's what the case is about. It's not whether you're trying to set up a customary bank or traditional bank or whatever. It's basically about whether you've misused public funds.
People go atin liklik office blongan ibin krapim lo town wog lo tambu mani one time to play westing big plan money strategy we go also close to 500 or 600 now. We been working lo town lo one ma lo liklik office Biano disla now eruption come now. Wal kita roll tabu now. Wal tabu inside long disla liklik office. Emoli bin stelium. Na mi tu plan no bin sabe lo ha am out now long all tabu now. Sampla money one time, tabu one time. Disla time lo eruption bin finisim.
Well, I've just found out that the lawyer is not coming in from Port Moresby. And I feel I'm getting let down because I'm going to try to go around and try to get another lawyer to see if he can defend me on this case. To this point now, I don't even have enough time. It's only a day away. Him not coming is really a blow to me. So I'm going to start to look around and see if we can get another lawyer organized, really. I've got to find this public solicitor because I got no alternative. There is no...
We've got one other chance with this private lawyer, but what did their rates say? What's that?
Well, it's okay that the money is a concern because 1,000 kina front up before you see them, it's just enormous for me,
Do you want to go and make an appointment with these people anyway and just...
Yeah, we can even just see if I can make an appointment, but I'm really desperate because tomorrow is the case and really we are counting it by hours, not days anymore.
I sympathize with Henry, but I can't help in finding a lawyer for him because it will be a conflict of interest because I'm now a public servant working for the Department of East New Britain, and the main issue is misappropriation of government funds. taken out from the provincial government. So it's just tied my hands. I can't do it.
I've got a big responsibility, firstly to her, for whatever her investment is, and as a family to the outside community, to the people that we owe money and shell money to.
I think is now, I think 5 years or 6 years now, this like this stuff. So me know I must do something by stuff also. Me like him Mosamba. He must finish quick now. Maybe I start back. Let's start back to work. Why do you have a problem? One of my kids no play work. You some money. No sooner we play. Why do you go through this like this? I guess play. But I'm having 60 years now. Now me worry through the problem play. Lo wasting play money. Now me like most of this something by my please quit. When me play start back now work me play.
We've not lived very well, trying to settle this, settle that, and trying to sort this one out, and trying to find money for this, and going to court. And as you can see, we are not making anything good. We are just trying to make sure these things over and done with. And it was never our making. Our dream was good in the first place, but well, that's what she's saying. She just could not stand it any longer. Yeah, well, I did manage to get around yesterday, and there was no private lawyer. Finally, I have to caught up with the public solicitor's office. It's up to the courts. They will make the decision, and I'm willing to get this over and done with, but the sooner the better.
Emil Topwe! Emil Topwe! Emil Topwe!
Honorable Justice Naman Sisan, please be seated. Henry Tokubag, CR number 68 of 98 for trial.
Mr. Tokubag, can you stand up, please? So at this stage, you have no lawyer to defend you. I consider that the matter is serious and you must be represented by a lawyer. I don't think that the trial should be conducted yourself. The offense is one of misappropriation. I don't know what the amount of money involved is, but it is desirable that you be defended by a lawyer. And I'm not prepared to go ahead today with your case. I'll adjourn this matter. Adjourn the court, Mr. Associate.
Hold stand, please. Mr. Robert, now adjourn. It's been set for the 1st of July for listing.
then he has to join the queue. You know, first come, first serve. He joins the end of the queue. And his matter will probably be heard in February next year.
The case was adjourned on the 7th of April. It was again adjourned on the 10th of November last year, and it was adjourned again on the 1st of December. On all these dates, the Henry Tokuba kept on changing, kept on jumping from lawyers to lawyers, and that is the situation until now. I think he needs to have the matter disposed of as soon as possible.
My case doesn't really disturb the process of getting a legislation done, and what actually happened yesterday was a legislation passed by local level government is actually is a resolution in the right direction to get the legislation done. My case doesn't really have any effect on that.
No, me like Muslim, but this like case that's all by finish. Finish quit as well. Me less na. Me that finish low bait na bait as all this like case that's all belong me walk long. So na me like Muslim that's all by finish quick. This like case belong. Long time Muslim itu belai West people money finish na. Kambu na. Me bet kan amiles kan lo next month kan buy. Muslim can buy kisim can just like one belongan can.
And the waiting is just costing us our lives, really, just waiting. So now it's been extended, and that's how you cannot really stop time, but you got no choice. Really, as a family, we are all in prison, really.
It's a Memories FM 100. This is Talkback. Henry, let me just thank you for coming in this morning and for giving us all those that wonderful information. I wish you well. I know that it is going to be a success, and dreams have a tendency of coming true at the end. And I'm sure that it will be for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger.